Hey guys, welcome back to Geeks Love Dogs Book Dragons, and today I'm doing a new segment called Spotlight On, where I pick a subject I think may be interesting, like a series, an author, or whatever catches my attention, and I lay it out there for you for my personal perspective, and see what you think. So today, I'm spotlighting Michael Slade's crime horror serial killer series, Special X. Special X is a series of 14 books that ran between 1984 and 2009 and focuses on a team of detectives in Vancouver, British Columbia that hunt down the worst serial killers. The Special X unit centers mostly on Robert DeClercq, Zig Chandler, and Nick Craven, members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police assigned to the unit known as Special X, as they cross Canada and the world to stop murderers worthy of a 1980s slasher series. Michael Slade is a pseudonym of Jay Clark, writing with his daughter alongside him, his daughter Rebecca. And Jay was born in 1947 in Lethbridge, Alberta, which is the site of Fort Whoop-Up, the notorious whiskey trading post that was the reason the Mounties were formed in the first place. Jay moved to Vancouver to become a criminal lawyer who acted in more than 100 murder cases as both defense and prosecutor, and his specialty is psychopathology, or cases involving the criminally insane. And Jay was the lawyer who argued the last ever hanging appeal in Canada's Supreme Court history. All of Michael Slade's books come from Jay Clark's real-life experience as a criminal lawyer, having dealt with some of the worst and most horrific cases in Canada's history, and are filled with characters not only from his time as a lawyer, but from his real-life adventures as well, which adds to the realism, depth, and conviction in his writing. Jay's long and storied career and colorful life provide a great deal of material, engrossing storytelling, and relatable characters. When coupled with his extensive, exhaustive research and time spent with law enforcement and criminals of every level, you get honest and realistic storytelling amidst the horrific events and killers the Special X unit encounters. Jay Clark, as Michael Slade, has been the guest of honor at the Bloody Words Crime Convention, the World Horror Convention, and has been the guest speaker at the Red Surge Ball, several regimental dinners, and the International Police Leadership Conference. Time Out once said, "A thin line separates crime and horror," and in Michael Slade's thrillers, the demarcation vanishes altogether. Amongst Slade's fans are Alice Cooper, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, and Robert Bloch, the writer of Psycho, who have all contributed blurbs to his work and praised it along with praise from the likes of Fangoria and Cemetery Dance magazine. Slade has a huge following among law enforcement officers due to his strict adherence, procedure, and the accuracy of his criminal investigations. RCMP Staff Sergeant Christine Woosney of the Violent Crimes Analysis Team once said of him, "Crime writer Michael Slade is the real deal. If reading Slade makes you react like, wow, serial killers don't really do that to people, do they? I can tell you, they do." Eventually, she became a character in his future books. Michael Slade's real-world, real-life inspiration for these Mountie thrillers make them all the more terrifying. And quoting from no one but myself, these books are damn good. I really did enjoy them and would love to reread them, in fact. The Special X series can be read individually or out of order, but to get the most out of it, it's best to read them in order to follow the characters as they grow and change, and enjoy the returning characters and experience character-changing events that occur in the books. But if the choice is reading what you own or not reading them at all, go ahead and read what you have, because I did in fact start out of order and I still enjoyed them. Pick them up and take a chance if you're a crime, horror, or serial killer fan, because these are fun but horrific reads. But watch your triggers, because if you're not okay with horrific crimes, especially knowing they're based off real life events, then you're not going to have a good time, because these books do not pull a lot of punches. These Mountie noir thrillers about the Special X psycho hunters of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police fuse police and legal procedure, whodunit, history, horror, and suspense. And if you'd like to know more about Michael Slade's crazy life or the Special X series, you can go to specialx.net and check out all the information on that page, which is more than you could ever need to know. So let me go ahead and show you the books. I've been collecting these. These are the ones that have been on my shelf since I started collecting them. Some of them are still in really good shape, but this book one is Headhunter. Which has gotten a little beating. And book two is Ghoul. This gets a lot of attention because of the subject matter, dealing with the fact that it has a horror rock band and deals with some Lovecraftian investigations. So it gets a lot of attention. As you can see, there's a quote by Alice Cooper right on the front. "An advanced course in psycho horror, convulsively terrifying. I couldn't put it down." What you don't know can really, really hurt you. This book three, Cutthroat. hunt for a savage serial killer in a thriller that embraces man's darkest fears. Would make de Sade wince. That's a hell of a blurb if you are stating that Marquis de Sade would wince at what's in there. It's a good blurb to put on your book. Ripper. It's book 4, brutal slayings and deadly lust, a nerve-shattering thriller. Jack the Ripper is dead, right? Don't bet your life on it. I remember really enjoying this one. It stands out. Book 5, Evil Eye. Journey into terror's darkest realm. Where no killer has gone before. I actually mentioned that quote. A thin line separates crime and horror, and in Michael Slade's thrillers, the demarcation vanishes altogether. Didn't realize that was on there. Book 6, Primal Scream. Scream if you must, live if you can. That's what I learned, to be more careful with my books. Some of these don't look like they've been touched. Years ago, a diabolical killer lured Detective Robert de Klerk to the brink of hell. Now he's going over the edge. Primal Scream. If you're screaming, it's too late. This is book 7, Burnt Bones. These look like step back covers, which would have been the norm at the time these came out, but it is not. Sacrifice is everything. Everything is sacrifice. That's obviously about sacrifice. Genuine rival to Stephen King. Now, I get what they're saying, but just so you know, he doesn't write anything like Stephen King. There's definitely not a style that coincides with each other. I think they're just talking about the fear factor, the horror factor. It's Hangman, A Child's Game, A Madman's Revenge. Nice reflective color. See, again, shouldn't it be a step back, don't you think? Book 8, Book 9, Death's Door. One man's death is another man's pleasure. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men and women? Michael Slade knows. Fangoria. To put it bluntly, Slade is not for wimps. Yeah, so all you wimps out there, you can't read it. Now you can. Go ahead. Bed of Nails. Watch your back. Doesn't that look like a Jack the Ripper silhouette? Revoltingly clever. Scandalous and gory. Come and get it. Alright, it's 10. It's 11. Evil is Reborn. Two serial killers are taking hate crimes to the extreme. Wheel. That's actually not a bad cover. Most of those later covers weren't so good. That was back when they had moved off from really good art in books to, well, less good, to put it simply. But this one's not so bad. Slade's villains are among the most twisted evil creations to adorn the printed page. There's Cemetery Dance praising him. Number 13. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. This one is a bit different. This one doesn't follow the same cast. I don't remember anything about this, to be honest. I know it doesn't follow, and that's not a comment on the book. It's a me thing. But it doesn't follow the same cast. It follows a different character, a lawyer by the name of Wyatt Rook. And I don't remember how it fits into the series, but it is still listed as number 13 in the series, despite its departure from the normal crew and such that you've been following through the rest of the books. And finally, we have Red Snow. Now, this one I know it's the only one I have in trade versus mass market paperback, and it bugs me, but it was all that was available at the time. And that's book 14. 2010 Winter Olympics are coming to Vancouver, and Mephisto is ready to strike. So that's the 14 books in the Special X series. I hope you found it interesting. If you like the series, check it out. It's worth checking out. So if you guys know any really good serial killer stories, let me know. I'm a big fan of serial killer stories. Not serial killers themselves. I don't glorify serial killers. I just love the back and forth, the chase, the cat and mouse games that happen in those books when the police are searching for them and the killer is trying to elude them. And that probably is because when I was way too young and my grandmother got in a copy of Red Dragon, I pulled it off her shelf and read it. Like I said, way too young. And you know how when you get into something, your first experiences with things sometimes impress upon you when you're young. And that was one of the first books I read in adult books, before getting into Stephen King and such, transitioning from younger books and comic books. So it's still stuck with me. So if you guys know of any good serial killer stories, give me a shout. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you read. Tell me what's out there that I haven't read. Not so much the true crime stuff, because I've read a lot of that and seen a lot of it on TV, but good serial killer fiction, let me know. I'm all there for it, especially if it's got a unique twist. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know if you like the idea of the spotlight on. And I'm really glad you showed up. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Remember, secret to Zen, pet dogs, read books, listen to heavy metal. Have a good day, guys. See you next time.